and is a regular speaker at forums like NASCOM. We are also especially grateful to Infosys BPM for their valued partnership with Youth for Jobs. Kapila, on behalf of our entire team, thank you. It is wonderful to have you here today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And our next panelist, Dr. Prabhavati, Associate Professor and Director, Center for Differently Abled Persons, Bharatidasan University. Dr. Prabhavati is a leading voice in disability advocacy within higher education with over 15 years of research experience and expertise in inclusive education, assistive technology, and disability management. At Bharatidasan University, she serves as Director, ICO of CDAP, and as the Grievance Redressal Officer for persons with disabilities. She has been recognized as one of the top 50 women educators in higher education across India. We are especially honored to have her today, as Bharatidasan University is our cherished collaborator for this event. We welcome you, ma'am. Then comes our next panelist, Professor Sriraman Nandi, Placement Coordinator, Center for Placement and Career Guidance, Christ University, Bengaluru. Professor Sriraman bridges industry and academia with rare depth, bringing over 2 decades of experience with organizations like Walkhart, Ranbaxy, MSD, and CIPLA, alongside an advanced management program for IIM Lucknow. Since joining academia in 2019, he has been instrumental in connecting students, including students with disabilities, to meaningful career opportunities. His work in placement makes him a vital voice in today's conversation on bridging education and employment. We welcome you, Professor Sriraman Nandi, sir. And here comes our last but the better panels that we have today. Dr. Kashyapi Thakuria, Assistant Professor and Coordinator, Center for Neurodiversity and Research Innovation, Christ University, Bengaluru. Dr. Kashyapi is an academician, clinician, and researcher with over 11 years of experience in teaching and clinical counseling. She holds a PhD in clinical neuropsychology with a focus on EEG, neurofeedback, and evidence-based mental health interventions, and is trained in CBT, REBT, and mindfulness. As a coordinator of the Center for Neurodiversity and Research Innovation at Christ University, she brings a vital and often underrepresented lens to our inclusion conversations today. Welcome, Dr. Kashyapi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a remarkable panel we have today. Please join me in warmly welcoming all our speakers. And now, I have the honor of introducing the person who will be leading our panel conversation today. Uday is an assistant manager at Youth for Jobs, and today he steps into the role of moderator for this panel. Uday brings with him a wealth of experience and a perspective that makes this conversation truly meaningful. And I have no doubt he will guide us through a rich and insightful discussion. Uday, the floor is all yours, and we look forward to the conversation you are about to lead. Over to you, Uday.
Thank you, Pratibha. That was a lovely introduction. Hello, everyone. I am Uday Chintagunta, and I'm a part of Youth for Jobs Foundation. I'm currently working as an assistant manager. I take care of the College Connect program, where we connect with youth with disabilities who pass out from the company with the latest colleges and institutes and understand their job requirements and map them to jobs. And at the same time, as a part of my job, we also connect with employers to understand their requirement and get them the best youth with disabilities. I also take care of the Smart Inclusion Center lab and portal. The Smart Inclusion Center is a Youth for Jobs initiative to bring all the available assistive technology and devices available for persons with disabilities across the country under one roof. And I would also want to say one word about my mentor, Meera Shenoy. She is one person who always keeps on inspiring me and everybody in our company. The Inclusion Hurdle, which is happening today, is a series, and it will be happening quite often. And one important thing I need to mention to you all, I myself am a person with disability. I am a person with visual impairment. And I'm going to be the moderator for the Inclusion Hurdle today. I would also want to mention to you all that we have our sign language interpreter Mira, who would be doing the sign language interpretation real time, so that we all can maintain our rate of speech at a reasonable pace, so that it will be easy for her to do the interpretation real time. So without much further ado, I would want to start the inclusion hurdle. So my first question would be for Ms. Gitanjali. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, good
Hello.
evening, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. According to my research, I understood that Eaton actually works with quite a good number of persons with disabilities.
Yes,
So my question
yes,
here
that's
is,
right.
yeah, my question here is, during the process of interviewing persons with disabilities, were there any accommodations or changes brought in to make the interview process easier?
Yes, definitely, because we cannot expect sometimes exactly the same qualifications that we expect from able-bodied people, because we understand the challenges in bringing up, differently able people with the educational requirements like diploma in electrical or electronics, and that's where we had a mindset that saying that okay, let's just have trainability. If learning ability is there, if people can learn by observation and practice, we are open to hiring. So that was the first adjustment that we had done for hiring in Chennai plant. Similar adjustment was done in Ranjangaon plant, and Youth for Jobs had helped us in doing an assessment of which disability can work in which role profile. A systematic study actually helps instead of just shooting in the dark, like, okay, let's do a campaign of what disabilities we can hire. And that systematic approach was really helpful. And these kind of adjustments in educational qualifications, you know, a mindset change in saying, okay, we will not go by our regular standards, but see that let's give a start and then see where it goes.
Oh, wow, that's really great to know. But ma'am, I also have one more question. Since
Yes.
I understand that there are a person with disabilities working with Eaton in various roles, so I would also want to
Yes.
understand, were any physical and technical changes were brought into the workplace to make their work easier for them?
Yes, it's extremely important to understand what kind of accommodations will be required. Eden is a very sensitive organization when it comes to that. And while hiring itself, we ask what kind of accommodations will you need. Um, One accommodation I clearly remember we had done for an employee in Pune was see that person worked with the support with two crutches, and the automatic doors would close very fast. So we had to change the speed at which the doors would close, because otherwise it became very difficult for him to pass through doors in the office. In current settings, as such, our processes in Chennai are not very difficult for people to do. The accommodation we had to do was for food arrangements, because there was one employee who could not climb the stairs, and we were ready to provide food and all refreshments to her on the ground floor. Her work was kind of whatever work we were allocating her should be allocated only in the processes which are on the ground floor, so the discomfort is avoided. And it's very interesting to see that when we gave her that option to eat on the ground floor, the arrangement was made on for setting the table and chairs for her.
Wow, thank you, ma'am. Those were some great initiatives, I would say. Thank you for making physical space very accessible and easy for us. So my next question would be for Miss Kapila Jaykumar. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, are you there? How are you?
I'm doing great, ma'am. How about you?
I'm good. And thank you, Geetanjali. I think there was some really good points that you shared on how organizations make for
To go.
recommendations.
Yeah.
Thanks, Uday. Yeah, please
Yes,
go now.
yes. Ma'am, again, this is from my research, and I could understand from all my colleagues at Youth for Jobs that Infosys has been hiring a person with disabilities and has been working with them. So, I
Right.
would want to understand from you, an icon, how
Mhm.
has your experience been hiring, working, and mentoring persons with disabilities?
Question. Thank you for that. Let me start on a personal note, right? Because when I started working with people with disability, and when in Infosys we call them EWD, which is Employee with a Disability. This was in 2014-15, right? And since then, it's been a very enriching and humbling experience for me, right? Inclusive hiring, especially for persons with disability, it's kind of fundamentally expanded how I kind of define talent and potential. I don't want to separate the two, but I want to use the word talent and potential together, right? And then I found myself being at Infosys having those same values, which I, parallelly use together as a word. So we've kind of moved beyond, right? From an Infosys standpoint, we've moved beyond inclusion and sorry, beyond inclusion as a compliance aspect or a compliant requirement to kind of embedding that in our own capabilities, like, and taking advantage of that. So when we hire for persons with disability, we hire for their skills, for their mindsets, potentials. We don't think about the limitations at all. While in a conversation some of those things come up, we change those into opportunities for us. So while we are working with EWD, it's been a learning journey, right? From everybody in the team, right? What could be the challenges? What are some of those biases? What strengthens empathy during these conversations and interactions? How do we build more thoughtful leadership? I think those are things we kind of encounter and we are learning. And it's a journey, like I mentioned, right? So over time we've seen that when the right environment and support systems are in place, EWDs are consistently delivering, being high potential and high performers, and bringing their unique problem solving perspectives, which is helping us grow as well together. I don't know if I've helped answer your question today, but that's
No,
what we
ma'am. No, ma'am, you did actually. So, can you also please share with us some best practices which were
do.
brought in or
Mm.
followed within your company to promote inclusivity? I would definitely request for one, more than one if it's all right.
Yeah. I think I have a whole bunch of them, but
Oh,
I'll try
wow.
and be concise.
Mhm.
While we focus predominantly on inclusion, we do it from the entire employee life cycle. We just don't stop, right? Right from the hiring practice that we have, accessible hiring practice, right? Simplifying the hiring process, making the job descriptions a lot more inclusive, whether it's partnership with organizations like you or with other organizations, because we want to widen our own talent pool, right? For us, we want to show, and we have a sizable set of employees with disability. So I'm quite proud and like to say that as well. Then we look at accessibility. And accessibility throughout, right? Whether it's assistive technology, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's digital inclusivity, now AI, how do we kind of all bring that all together to make it a lot more accessible? Then comes the people part on sensitization. Leaders, managers, TLs, right? The entire continuous conversation. We can't do like one off or once a year, take the days that are important and talk about it. No, our conversations are continuous. We have our Lex platform where we constantly shout out from the rooftop saying that please, look at these courses, please do it. It's good for you to understand, and also for the employees as well, right, who are working with these managers, and also employees with disability who are managers. How do they pick up and upskill themselves and learn a little more? And basically our thought process is shifting mindsets from accommodation to enabling. So that's what we want to look at. And from a structured support system, what we do is we do a lot of buddy programs, we do mentorship, there is an ongoing check-in that happens, so there's just a lot of smooth interaction and therefore growth for the employee, right? Policy wise, we constantly look at them, look at what can we work around, what are some of those flexible work arrangements we give, because we are a BPM industry, Uday, we work 24 by 5, so it requires for people to work on shifts, and how can we be a lot more empathetic, right, for people with disability, and how do we kind of if people are okay working with shifts, we're absolutely fine, but if they request that they want to do a day shift, then we also try and integrate as much as possible, right? So we've discussed, finally, I think allyship is a lot that I also push for people to pick up, right? Because once you create that safe space where employees are feeling safe, they're feeling seen, they're feeling heard, they're feeling supported, then they're just being there, bringing their authentic self to work, and then also driving performance, which is high. So for us, inclusion is not like a standalone initiative, it's an experience we want to give to every single person. And you also will agree that inclusion is an experience by an individual, and it can't be the same, it will never be the same, we will have to keep getting better at it. So for us, it's embedded in how we hire, how we lead, how we manage and measure success. Yeah, so we also have a DI dashboard, so constantly we're looking at the numbers. It's intentionally that we are reporting these numbers when we meet the board every quarter, to see how the needle is moving. So yeah, that's what we do at Infosys BPM.
Wow, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. It was really great to know what all Infosys does, and that's really inspiring. So here, my next question would be for Ms. Prabhavati. Hello, ma'am. Uh,
Can you hear me?
yes,
Hi,
ma'am.
Uday.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Great to know.
Yes, Uday.
Yeah, ma'am, I would want to ask this one question. Me as a person with a disability, I myself have faced this particular thing. For example, uh, not too much, but I did. But for example, when I want to enroll into something, when I want to go somewhere, my parents, my family members used to be very protective, saying, "It's okay. Why do you want to do all that? Just stay home. We'll take care of you. Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to do this? Just stay home. Be right in front of our eyes so that we will be happy and peaceful." So, but still, I took a stand saying, no, I have to do something. I have to be on myself. And I stepped out. But I'm really not sure if it's the same with many of my buddies and friends. So, my question here is, in such scenarios, how is that you have good number of people enroll at your center every year for training and for education? Can you please help us understand that?
Yes, Uday. The only thing that the parents are afraid of is whether my child will be affected, whether psychologically or physically. But we give them an homely atmosphere where they feel themselves that yes, my children will be comfortable. Because most of my kids who are studying in my department are staying in the hostel. Okay, we personally provide them a space where they feel at home. Each and every need is being taken care of. When they are feeling sick, we will be there at that time. We never leave them alone, either educationally or financially or psychologically. Because I think persons with disabilities, if we can give them the trust, yes, we are for you. From my experience for more than a decade, I personally feel that they will go to any extent to work with you, to be with you. I have never seen, I'm a special educator and a normal educator. I have never seen any person, the so called normal people, who just give their heart. But for persons with disabilities, if you give them the trust that, yes, we are working for you, we are for you, we respect you, automatically the children get attached to us, and the same thing happens to the parents also. So I think it's more psychological rather than any other aspects.
Oh, wow. Making them feel at home is something very nice, ma'am.
Yes.
And at the same time, I also, from my research, I could understand that there are many kind of disabilities, people who are persons with disabilities who are supported at our university. So I would also want to understand here. I know there are multiple courses, but are all these courses for different kind of disabilities? Are they all designed differently? Because for visual impairment, I think I know that there's a different way I would want to read, but at the same time, for speech and hearing impaired, it would be different. And for other disabilities, it would be different. So can you please help us understand how different is it designed and how
Yeah,
different is it developed?
each and every course is, yeah, thank you, Uday. Each and every course is disability specific designed instructions. The curriculum will be totally as per the need of that. Suppose for a vision impaired person we are teaching, we'll be going with the screen reading softwares, the OCRs and other things. If I'm going to teach a student with hearing impairment, I'll go with sign language. For an autism kid, I'll be using those assistive technology through which I can get their attention, sustain their attention. So all the courses will be designed based on the specific type of disability, their need, and the instructions will be also like that. Each and everything is unique, because we all know each and every child is unique as per the disability. Even within the group, that the instructions will differ. For intellectual disability student, the instruction will be totally one to one. For a student with hearing impairment, it will be totally based on lip reading or sign language. So like that, the curriculum will be totally planned or designed based on the type of disability. So we have
Wow.
unique courses, unique instructions, unique teaching methodologies for each and every type of disability.
I would definitely say wow, man, because different kind of disabilities, different kind of courses, and it's all supported under one roof, and that's really amazing to know, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's really great. Thank you for that, ma'am. So my next question would be for Mr. Sriraman Nandi. Hello, sir.
Yes, hello, Uday. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing
Thanks
great. Thanks
for
for asking.
inviting me. Yes.
Right. So I have this question. I know that you've been into placement, and I know that you've been into placement of normal youth and youth with disabilities also. So my question here is, throughout your journey, how easy or how difficult has it been placing youth for disabilities into job opportunities? Can you please help us understand?
Yeah. So once again, good afternoon to all. Thank you for inviting me. Yes, if I have to tell about supporting the students with disability, the Christ University experience. Always Christ University, as you all know, it is committed, for fostering an inclusive learning employment and environment for all the students, right, including the students with the disabilities. Although, if you look at the number of students who are enrolled with disabilities in the university is relatively small, we put a lot of dedicated efforts in terms of their academics, also in terms of fulfilling their career aspirations. So when it comes to the placement cell, we closely work with employers, I mean industry partners, also to a certain extent some of the NGOs to create meaningful opportunities for students with disabilities over these years. So, how we do it over the year, the university has established some kind of memorandum of understanding with few of the multinational corporations, also with few of the NGOs, no, which are focused with the disability inclusions. And these partners have actually not only facilitated us to this program, also it has given a lot of mentorship things for us to facilitate these programs. And also, we do a lot of skill development initiatives for full-time employment opportunities when it comes to this area. And again, further to add, several organizations keep approaching the placement office of Christ universities with reference to this disability-specific roles. So once we receive such roles from the university side, we actually carefully evaluate each of this opportunity, considering the nature of the role, the workplace requirements, and also the students' abilities, and also the interest of the students towards this career course. And then we connect those eligible students with the employers and we do every possible thing to support them throughout this recruitment process. So apart from this, in addition to facilitating this employment opportunity, the university emphasizes individualized support. Here, actually, students are advised to actually participate in a lot of career guidance sessions. When it comes to employer interactions, we actually motivate them to participate in all those programs, mentorship programs. So the whole idea is allowing them to participate in all these things is to actually give them that kind of confidence and that kind of employability. So these are few things we try to do a bit from our end, so that as Kapila madam mentioned, right, inclusion is all about an experience. So we try to do every possible thing to give that kind of experience, even for the disabled students, because there should not be any kind of uh, at any point, given point out time, they should not feel any kind of difference. So we try to match that.
Wow, thank you for that, Mr. Sriraman. Mr. Sriraman, I also have another question. Now that AI is coming into play, things might become a little complex because, for example, I've understood that at multiple companies, whenever there is a job posting which is placed, there might be many people who are applying to that particular post, could be PWD or non-PWD as well. I have understood that the first round of screening is actually done by the AI. And once that is done, which all resumes get filtered, only they get to the second round of interview. So in this situation, how is that the placements are still going on, and how is that you are able to manage those placements? Can you please help us understand that?
Yes, sir. Sir, here what happens is when it comes to the placement of the disabled students, no, what happens is it's not that they go along with the regular placements, right? So many times organizations approach us when certain specific roles are actually available. Okay, so that point of time we try to give all the guidance for the students and make sure it's moving. And of course, AI is challenged now, but as of now we have not come across any kind of situations where because of AI screening where students have got rejected or something. Definitely, many organizations they try to give a kind of privilege, especially when it comes to such roles.
Okay, that's a little relieving to know, sir, because that way at least we would understand that we would at least escape the filter of AI here.
No, because here again, no, the numbers are very less, and especially organizations want to support the students, right?
Mhm.
So definitely here, the AI screening of resumes, honestly speaking, I don't think it really matters a lot over there. Yes, of course, when you go for bulk hiring, yes, of course, when there are 1,000, 2,000 resumes, it matters. Here,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter that much. Yes.
Right, right. Thank you, Mr. Sriraman. Thank you for those thoughts of yours. Now I would want to ask. Now I would want to ask Miss Kashyapi.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hello, sir. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, ma'am. Ma'am, I could understand. I did a little research about what is that you do, and I've understood that you have done a PhD in neuropsychology. That's very great to know.
Yes.
But my question here is, it's clearly understood that a neurodiverse youth of our country
Hmm.
I mean, they cannot be placed into opportunities that easily because the placement of this particular youth cannot be compared to the placement of people who are locomotor disabled or people who are speech and hearing impaired.
Mm-hmm.
Because here every youth is good at something.
Hmm.
So my question here is, once now we understand that every individual is different and every individual is good at something.
Hmm.
How is that they are supported at their higher education? Can you please help us understand that?
How to support them in higher education?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, firstly, I would just like to bring my focus on that we have made certain progress in expanding access to higher education, definitely for the specially able individuals. However, the more critical question lies the access, like even though beyond access, how effectively this education translates into a meaningful and sustained employment. So the gap is not about the ability, but the gap lies in the environment. And I would like to say it also lies in the training, designs, and transition support. So I think previous conversation, we have talked about different cognitive styles, how we are supporting them. So most of our education and workplace system were designed around what we call as a neurotypical way of functioning. Where learning, communication, attention, interaction follow a standardized expectation. But however, you see, there are many specially abled individuals whose way of thinking, whose way of processing information, experiencing sensory input is very different from the norms. So it is very essential that we need to move towards designing and inclusive protocols in terms of even training designs. So I have also tried to look into some of the models, training models that is used abroad, and it is quite different. They do not just first train and place, but they place and then train. So it is also important that throughout the higher education, are we focusing on their cognitive strengths? Are we focusing on the learning pace, the communication preferences, and the sensory needs? So this can also be done through some simple intake assessments, observations, task based evaluations, or we can say looking into the cognitive strengths or adaptive skills, which can help them to enhance their functional performance. And most of the times when we talk about assessments, we don't it is beyond just diagnosis. More than diagnosis, we should use some functional assessment tools. So the next step is towards the redesigning the roles and the learning task to better accommodate a diverse way of functioning. So instead of expecting the individual to fit into a predefined role, tasks can be broken down into some smaller, manageable components with clear instructions, with predictable routines, and probably providing them with a more flexible structure in terms of timelines and alternate way of completing the task. Further, it can support inclusion. On the other hand, we have also heard about the universal design for learning. So the principle of the universal design for learning are particularly relevant here, as they emphasize on offering multiple ways of learning and engaging and expressing knowledge. So the assistive tools like the repetition based learning or scaffolding the instructions, all of these can enhance their unique skill acquisition and confidence, especially in internships or training settings where individuals are still developing a workplace readiness. And on top of that, we can also talk about the continuous evaluation of the performances, their stress levels, skill progression, which also helps in refining both the task design as well as the support that is provided. So this also can include, say, for example, we are tracking their progress sheets or a checklist to monitor the task completion, the accuracy, the independence over time, the rating scales, the brief self-report scales. So all of these could be used as a document log to improve their skills across different sessions. So when we talk about there is a hybrid model which is also supported employment model, which is introduced by nimhans, that also builds on an existing vocational approach, but it also introduces a very flexible and integrated method. In this model, they also incorporate the structured vocational assessments, ongoing workplace support, active family involvement is there. Thus it makes it a much more context sensitive, more context sensitive and sustainable in sense. And while the elements, they remain similar, and the approach is much more dynamic, flexible, and it is tailored to the specific needs of the individuals. So
Oh, wow.
probably if we look into all these things, it will reduce their challenges over
Right,
time. Yes.
right, right. Ma'am, while you were actually telling me all this, a personal experience of mine just stuck to my mind. Again, this is something with when I'm working with Youth for Jobs Foundation. Once a person, she was around 24, 25 years old. She has approached our center, and I spoke with her. She has finished her graduation. It's been like 2 years change that she has finished her graduation. She's 25 years old. Her English was top notch. She has got very good communication skills, and she has been to 38 countries. I was like, wow. So after all the conversations, I asked her, "Why are you here? Are you here to volunteer?" She said, "No, sir, I'm here for help." I was, for a moment, I was totally, I didn't understand what she meant by help. I said, why? What happened? Why? What do you want help with? I want help with my employment. Then I've understood from her that she has anxiety attacks at times, and that is the reason, no matter she has given interviews since 2 years, and she couldn't get a job opportunity.
Okay.
Ma'am, at situations like this, is there a way that companies can deal with this separately, or can't a work from home option or anything like that? Can't it
Yes,
be up to?
definitely, definitely. Even work from hybrid model of work should be introduced. Employment anxiety at the interview stage is very common among them, not due to lack of ability, but it is because the traditional interviews rely heavily on the social communication, quick responses, unpredictability. This can also increase cognitive load. So the main aim should be to reduce the cognitive load, and even so that the individual has a strong, they should see the strength of the individuals, not just by using a traditional interview, but there are many more other ways, I'm sure, through which there are ways through which we can look into their natural skills. So to address this, organization should move towards a task-based assessment, probably structured interview, and clear, predictable formats where anxiety is reduced and expectations are made explicit, and individuals are better able to demonstrate their actual competence and confidence that can improve significantly.
Right, right. Thank you, ma'am. Those were really great answers and insights. So again, my question now again would be for Ms. Gitanjali here.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption, Uday. Gitanjali ma'am has also raised her hand. You could check with her and proceed.
Gitanjali ma'am, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, I had raised my hand at an earlier question discussion.
Okay.
When we were, now I've lost that point really. But when we were when we are discussing about neurodiverse employment, SAP actually does everything what we just heard, having different and recruitment process and engaging with employees' family, giving them anxiety breaks, giving them anxiety leave, and involving the family in their induction. All that is practiced already in one of the SAP centers in Bangalore. There is much to learn from them. We invited them at Eton, learned a lot from them. A similar thing is being also done in Eton, in our US headquarters in IT. We found that they were exceptionally talented, and exactly what Ram said just now, that give them predictable routines, the tasks that they could perform regularly, and a quiet space, the team would come regularly. So yes, we need to change the way we approach each disability, because each disability has a different way to manage it.
Right. Right, ma'am. What I totally agree with what you just said, because each disability is different and it needs to be managed differently.
Yes.
I totally agree with you. So, ma'am, I had this question. For example, we do have people attending interviews, a person with disabilities attending interviews. For example, I have this question. A person with a disability has attended an interview. Everything goes well, but finally we understood that he or she lacks a little skill. If at all, if they were a little more skilled, yes, they would be right for that particular job role. But during the interview process, it is understood that he or she lacks little skill. So my question here is, at situations like these, can they be considered for a lesser position or lesser job position? And in future, as a career progression, can they get a chance based on their performance to climb up the ladder?
Okay. Actually, in Eton, one such instance happened when a candidate was, when HR interviewed, the candidate was the recruiter identified that he had partial hearing loss. And it is an invisible disability. You don't really you're not able to see that disability. And she cleared the person, and he went to the next technical round, and he got rejected. And when understanding from the manager, it felt, it was a surprise why this person has got rejected. And he said he was not able to answer my questions. And then she asked him, did you know that he has a partial hearing impairment? He may not declare it, but he was not able to hear your questions clearly. This is a condition. Then he was re-interviewed, and then he got the job. So it happens in interviews, and it is the responsibility of the interviewer to check that your questions are getting communicated correctly. So in Eton, we are conscious of, sensitive about it. And it's also on the person who is conducting the interview. Also, my belief is that if a person has qualified the hiring process, everybody is equal. It doesn't matter if you're a person with disability or a able-bodied person. These are requirements for the job role. If you qualify, it does not matter whether you have a different ability. All of us are equal. And it's not because of us we've got this condition. It's circumstances, and nobody should get penalized for it, right? So, yeah.
Great, thank you, ma'am, because I'm pretty sure not only me, but all my audience friends who are listening to this, they will definitely get a lot of boost, because when you said no abled or non-PWD or PWD, it doesn't matter, everybody is equal. Wow, that's very great to know. And
I would just like to add.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Gitanjali. Sorry.
Yeah, I would just like to add that as organizations, we are only bridging the gap of equity. Some people have an easier start. Some people don't have an easier start. So we are only connecting the opportunity to people because God has given us that position that, okay, we understand or we know that this is a condition the person is carrying, and we are just, it's God's blessing that we are able to connect that opportunity to the person. And we should continue doing our jobs in HR.
Right.
No, I just wanted to add to what Gitanjali she mentioned that Eaton does whole hair, and so does SAP. But also, I would want to include Infosys, in the best practice aspect around. So we don't look at, so every time our approach is very anchored on dignity first and fairness, right? So while we are aligning all of our current skills and readiness and all of that, once the employee is onboarded, equal access to learning and development, equal opportunities to upskill, reskill, career progression pathways are based on the performance that is given. So our goal is not to place any kind of limit, but it's always there to enable and kind of grow in that and that trajectory, right? So many of our colleagues also have demonstrated that aspect. With the right kind of support, they are accelerating faster, and that's uh, traditionally being accepted as well for us within the organization. So just wanted to share that.
Right, great. Ma'am,
yeah.
No, please go ahead, ma'am, please.
So in the AI-based selection, when resumes are getting matched, many organizations have a column which say, are you a person with disability? And it's optional to tick off. So if you do that, AI will match it separately. So it's not a limitation really, for people with disability. The technology is also enabled to identify you, but it's your choice. Do you want to identify yourself as a person with disability or not?
Thank you, ma'am. That's really very informative. Ma'am, my next question is for Ms. Kapila. So it's the same question which I've asked Ms. Gitanjali. For example, a person with a disability, he or she has attended the interview and they fall a little short in skill. So my question here is, are there chances that they can be considered for a lesser position and later be given a chance for career progression?
Definitely, definitely. And we don't go for the lesser position. We take them at the level that they have attended. I mean, they've come here for, but we also give them that opportunity to upskill themselves, reskill themselves, whatever access we are giving to any other employee, right? And once they get in, that's what I'm saying. Once we onboard the employee, they are on the same level playing field. It's up to them to kind of go out and upscale, learn, progress in their journey, because all the opportunities are there. So there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to, because dignity, fairness is what we kind of look at. And then how do we kind of, respect is very core to our value system, right? How do we kind of ensure that feels included is another piece that we work quite intentionally. So, of course.
Wow, that's a very good to know. So this question is for both Ms. Gitanjali and Ms. Kapila. So I know that you've been working with persons with disabilities, and how closely you have worked, that is not something I definitely have knowledge about. But I want to ask this one question. Any success story or anything about a person with disability you have seen, and anything you would want to share, something which can inspire my audience and us also?
Absolutely. I was reading the chat and I saw a lot of people saying 33 years, will I get opportunity? So let me give you an example of what Infosys, I'm very proud of it, right? There is this person, Rajani, who joined us in the operations role, and she just completed her 20th year in the organization. So she's in her 40s. So don't limit yourself and say, okay, I'm 33. Should I, shouldn't I apply? Who's going to hire me? And that's why in the chat, I've also like kind of said that please register with and ensure that you are working with partners who are in the space, because organizations reach out for talent pool from them. So of course there are lots of opportunities that you can take ahead. Now coming back to some of the success stories, right? That's what you asked me, right,
Yes,
Uday?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
so Rajni is one great story. And if I may share my screen, if that allowed, or if it's not, that's fine.
Rajesh?
I
You can share
can.
your screen. You are a co-host, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, also share. I don't need audio, but I'll share my. Um, I just wanted to share this because how we, yeah. Can you see my screen? It's a Word document that I'm sharing. Is that, can you see it?
We can see that you're sharing your screen, but the Word document is not visible now.
Okay, let me stop sharing and do that all over again. Okay. Now?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, so here's another example of Janaki, right? She's in our Chennai DC, and she's been working with us for over 9 years. So it's not just old timers, or it's not just people who've joined us and had a great career and still have a great career. We have freshers as well. Okay, here she's also 13 years in our with us, Aruna, and she works with the transport. So there's so much of interaction. And then you have the story of Durga Prasad. He's just joined us 2 years ago. But like this, there are multiple stories that we have for our employees, and every quarter we release these real stories to inspire others, right? Because when we say this, please do tell us about your disability, it's from a standpoint of safety, right? If there is a BCP issue and how do we evacuate employees with disability, we would like to know who they are, so then it's easier for us. And that's why disability certificate is also asked for them to kind of upload on our system. So lots of success stories. I can talk the whole day, but I will give back to Gitanjali and ask her to share some of those stories as well.
Gitanjali, ma'am?
As Geetanjali comes back, I thought what really stands out for us when we're sharing these stories is not just performance, but also the adaptability, the resilience that they are displayed over the years, right? What are some of those things that came as roadblocks, and how did they kind of adapt to that? Automation came, right? Like for a person with disability, if they had to do a lot of a very direct job, and then we realize AI is going to come and take over our service, what do we do? How do you kind of build that adaptability? What are you learning and upskilling, right? And the way those teams also evolved for people with disability, and how they became more collaborative, conscious of how do we kind of now manage the project. So today, these individuals are not only seen through the lens of disability, but they are high performing professionals and role models for an inclusive excellence, right? Especially, I was talking about Janani, who is a brilliant leader. She is one of our top 18% of the top women leadership in our organization, who's built that capability and kind of been the role model. And she's always there on any and she's not just propaganda of employee with disability, women. She looks at it at an intersectional approach, right? A man with a disability, and a single parent, all of that, she just ensures that she's out there helping every other person in need. So yeah, it just doesn't stop there. The buck she keeps moving, and she keeps the needle constantly moving in the right direction. So she's an inspiration to everyone. So do we have Geetanjali back? All right, we do.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I'm not able to unmute myself. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, stories which I would like to share. One is when I worked with a colleague who was blind in Tata's, and all my learnings have been through him actually. When I worked with a blind person next to me in HR, he was the employee relations executive. He was allowed to bring his own laptop because that time we had a JAWS for Windows software, which was the accessibility software at that time. And the way he approached life, he lost eyesight to glaucoma at the age of 18, which was extremely challenging for him to accept that a sighted person has become non-sighted now. And for an 18-year-old to accept is very difficult. But he came out of it. His attitude was exceptional. He said, I am educated and I will remain educated. He became a psychologist. He joined HR team in Tata's. And the attitude I learned from him was, I'm blind. So what? Let's find another way to do the same thing. So that's what I carry myself. So, that's one experience as a success story with Divyanshu, and I carry those learnings with me. The second story, of course, I have from our own existing Chennai plant, where we hired one employee, and she started working with us. So that was her financial empowerment that we got in, and she regularly comes in. She's enjoying her work, and not just that. Now she's got married because she found somebody while she, with through Eaton, she met someone, and I feel very happy to, say that okay, financial empowerment has led to some social empowerment because, the biggest challenge for parents also is when there are children with some disability is also to how to see a match for them. So this was also very empowering for her that now she's settled in her life. The third example I have is Abhishek. Abhishek is very notorious in our factory, was extremely intelligent, but 100% hearing and speech impairment, and hyperactive. His learnability is very high. So he's almost learned all our processes, and he'll finish his job quickly, and he will trouble the supervisor, give me next. He's stopped me from walking in the factory saying, again and again, I'm doing the same job, tell the supervisor to give me more. So I think just as we own our careers, people with different abilities also own their careers, and they drive us to, just as any other regular manager gets driven by their employees to shape their careers. All of them have done that for us as well.
Wow, wow.
So there's no stopping. Yeah.
Great, great. Very nice to hear, ma'am. Thank you for those inspiring stories. So my next question would be for Prabhavati ma'am and Sir Sriraman sir together, because my next question is about assistive technology and devices. My question here would be, ma'am, during the education and the training process, does assistive technology, awareness of assistive technology and assistive devices help? And my question for Sriraman Sir Das is, during the employment process, does the awareness of assistive technology and devices help during the employment process? So Prabhati ma'am, if you could please explain us that during the education process. Prabhati ma'am, you are muted.
Yeah. I got your question, Uday. Sorry, there was some trouble with unmuting. Okay. Yeah. See, the assistive technology is really a boom. It has only changed the way of training the persons with disabilities. Okay. Only thing that is, stops the process is the cost of those assistive devices. See, for if I have to train a person with vision impairment, we are going with JAS, means at least it is really costly. It is not affordable for the normal students. So what we do is we are making use of the open source softwares like NVDA. From 2011, I am training persons with vision impairment only through NVDA, the non-visual desktop access, rather than going for the commercial products. Yes. Assistive technology helps persons with disabilities to the core, frankly speaking. But only thing that stops us is the affordability.
Right.
Because we don't have open source softwares for everything. Right. If I'm going with an adapted keyboard, the cost of it is too high. For a state government or an individual to access those things is really, it becomes a dream. But assistive technology, if organizations can support that assistive technology products in developing the assistive technology products as a low cost, it will be of great help to all the people with disabilities. See, it makes learning easier. It makes living easier for persons with disabilities. This assistive technology is really, it's like God's gift, frankly speaking, because we are able to access everything.
Yes, ma'am.
Before 15 years, if I say a person with vision impairment can access computers, people used to joke. They used to say, oh, it's really joke. But now, all the persons with vision impairment are accessing computers and everything without any hindrance, thanks to the assistive devices. Only thing, the problem is the cost.
Yes.
Still, India is a developing country.
Yes, ma'am. I totally agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, that is the greatest thing. And I think we have to, from my opinion, we have to have an holistic view. We are all working. As an educational institutions, we are working on one hand on training partners. Y4J organizations like Y4J are working on one hand as employment partners. Infosys and all the other organizations, we are ready to help persons with disabilities. But only thing that is keeping us back is we are not having a holistic approach. I think we have to join hands with each other so that empowerment of persons with disabilities will become will become a reality.
Yes,
because technology, we are able to teach any student with disability, autism, Down syndrome, anyone, vision impairment, hearing impairment, with the help of technology. But the affordability, when it comes to affordability, we are struck. So I think organizations should work with that to make the cost, to cut the cost of those assistive technology that can help persons with disabilities. If you work with that, because once that they are not trained with assistive technology in the academic sector itself, they cannot use it in the employment. Right? So we are giving wings to the persons with disabilities with assistive technology.
Yes, ma'am. I totally agree with you.
If the wings are not heavy, they will feel it very easy.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I right or not?
Yes, ma'am. Totally.
So
because
we have to work together, have a holistic approach that we will all work together, join hands to make the empowerment of persons with disability a reality. This is my thinking process.
Definitely, ma'am. I totally agree with you because I myself am a person with disability and I use the all the assistive device and technology. So, Sriraman sir, so what do you think, if at all, if this, I mean, usage of assistive technology and devices, how is that which it is used by persons with disabilities? If this is explained to the employers, do you think there are chances that the employment rate can be improved?
Yes, sir, definitely. With the globalization, no, with the number of startups and newer companies coming up, right? Today, there is no dearth for employability. And today, technology is not limited only for someone, it is open for everybody. So, here, further to add, like what Dr. Prabhavati mentioned, right? Again, here, cost comes the matter. Again, when you take institution level, the number of students who are in this segment are very minimal. It's not that more, it's very minimal. So obviously, again, when it comes for investing on these technologies, it's a limitation. It's not for all institutes. University like Christ, they try to help out with a lot of technologies students. But at the same time, today, when we are connected with employers, when we say yes, our students are being assisted with all these technologies, definitely their chances of coming to the campus, meeting the students, screening the resumes, it increases. And in such situations, to train the students, we take the support of the concerned departments, we take the support of the student welfare office. Definitely, this will help improve the conversion rate when it comes to the job opportunities.
Right. Great, sir. Thank you for your answer. So from whatever we have discussed so far, I would say it's been a very informative and educative session, I would say, because from the corporate partners, from people who are running the education institutions and people who have been into neurodiversity, what I have understood is that companies are, yes, they are willing to hire persons with disabilities, and at the same time, they are making assistive and they are making changes so that they can accommodate more persons with disabilities. And at the same time, there are organizations who are getting persons with disabilities job ready. And at the same time, there are placement officers who are working more than enough, I should say, to coordinate with the employers and to create more job opportunities. And at the same time, there are people who are working with neurodivergent students to enable them in every way possible. With all this said, I would say it's a very great session, and I would thank all the panel members from the bottom of my heart. With this done, I would pass this to Pratibha. Over to you, Pratibha.
Yeah.
Uday, Prabhavati madam has raised her hand.
Yes.
Do you want to check with her if she wants to say a point?
Yes, Rajesh, I just want to say a word because as a person who is working for more than 2 decades for persons with disabilities, I think you have to, the training organizations like Youth for Jobs can play a role, that is, can bridge the gap between what is expected of the industry and what we are teaching. See, still there is a gap. As they have said, if the person is not having the specific skill, if the skill is lagging, how the organizations will be managing. If you can bridge that gap between what is needed for a child with autism or for a child with hearing impairment or for a child with vision impairment, what are the skills that is needed for them to be placed so that we can play that role, we can restructure our curriculum in such a way that they are industry ready. That will be an easier thing for us also as an organizations. I think we can do that. We can restructure our curriculum. What are the specific skills that are needed? We can prepare the students here itself so that they are not going to face the rejection when they are getting into the industry. I think that is needed because we are here from the academy is there, from the organizations are there. I think you can bridge that gap between what is needed and what is preferred and what can be given, what can be trained. So this is a small request that I would like to place before you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, I totally agree with you because that would be one very good way to build a bridge and to close one gap, I would definitely say. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think just adding to what Dr. Prabhavati just said is also it helps organizations like yourselves, Youth for Job, also to have the correct talent pool, because then you are also not having to look for and hunt for. If you already have somebody ready like this, with based on all the conversations you're having with Eaton and Infosys and the rest of the world as well, in terms of what kind of roles and skills are required, you have a talent pool ready to offer out, right? So then Prabhavati ma'am will just ensure that these skills are already embedded and already ready. So then it just makes the entire cycle a lot more smooth, right? Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Prabhavati.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow, what a session it was. Thank you so much, Uday, and thank you to all our panelists for such a rich and insightful discussion that we had. On the time being, we now have a very special segment, and this one belongs to all of you joining us today. We have been receiving some wonderful questions during our registrations and also in the chat. So, I am going to pick one or two based upon the time as we are running out of time. So, I will put before the panelists so that because of our audience have some great things to ask you. So I request our panelists to please give us some time to answer for this. So our first question, we have a question from Rajendra Kumar Jaiswal. And it's a really thoughtful one. Rajendra Kumar Jaiswal asks, in the age of AI, what skills should one learn for growth opportunities which can be applied practically? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. So yeah, anyone from Geetanjali or Kapila, I mean, they
Can I
can
take a
answer.
stab at it first?
Yes, please.
So let me rephrase that for you, because what happens is we are going to use AI as an enabler. So the skills will be something that you already have, and how do you enable AI to kind of help you with that skill further, right? So if you're looking at a particular industry, and if you have certain sets that are there, but now apply AI and enable AI to make that skill a lot more effective. So that's what I would recommend that candidates do. Look at job profiles, look at it that's very close to you. Now go back and use an AI to say what could be some of those areas that AI will enable you to be better at something, right? And if you do that, it just gives you all of the answers, and you can go and upskill wherever is required, and there you go. And I also see Shrimesh's hand up for a very long time. I'm not sure if it's by mistake or he does have a question. So please check. Or Geetanjali, if you want to add to this question and to this response, please do, please.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Shrimesh, do you have any question for us?
Yes.
Yes,
Good,
Shrimesh.
ma'am.
Yeah.
I am Srimesh's mother. Actually, he had jot down question in chat also. So on behalf of him, I'm asking, he is graduated
Okay.
and he has done so many computer courses. He is excellent in English data entry. And presently he is pursuing data annotation course also. So my query and his same query is that where should he is seeking job. So where he should approach, on which website he has to enroll, where he has to approach for this purpose. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry, but I didn't ask your name. So anyone would like to answer from the panelist, and I can also take it over later.
Yeah, I think Pratibha, they
Yes.
can share their resume with us. They can look into our Swarajability portal also.
Swarajability.
Yes.
Yeah,
So that's what
he
my
can
answer
register.
as well.
He can
And
register
Rajesh,
there.
can you please unmute Geetanjali? She want to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. So they can share their resume with us. We can look into the skill set and the certifications they have completed, and we can definitely connect them with the right company from our network, from our employers. Yeah, we can share the email. It is also in the chat box. They can share their resumes with us. Yeah.
Okay, for the AI question, I would just say that today the need is that how well do you use the AI? So what we need to learn is how to use AI. So all the jobs are definitely going to become more efficient by the use of AI. So just see how AI, what AI tools are going to be, available to you, and start integrating AI. And that's how Eaton is looking at it. AI as an enabler in all the job profiles that we have.
Yeah, thank you, Gitanjali, for answering that. And Shrimesh, we also, Shrimesh mother as well. So, ma'am, you can register on our Swarageability portal, which is an AI-triggered job portal. So, it is purely meant for person with disabilities. So, you can please post down your resume over there. We will come back to it.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry, I forgot to name myself Suchita, Srimesh's mother here, and he is diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. But along with education, he has computer courses, data annotation also. But now he is ready for job, but don't know where to approach exactly.
We will definitely help.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and one last question. We are going to take it for the educations.
Excuse me, please give me your website address, email.
It's posted in our chat. Can you please check it? It's www.swarageability.org.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thanks. And on timing, I'm taking the last question for the educationalist over here, institutions. So this next question is one I think any of the panels might have something to say about. So the question has come from Dr. Kalai Selvan from Madurai. He asked this question, what policy changes or institutional initiatives would have the greatest impact on improving disability inclusion in higher education and employment?
So, ma'am, Prabhavati ma'am, I think you are the right person.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Policy and
Ma'am, as far as inclusion in higher education is concerned, the greatest difficulty is there is no training for the faculty members. The faculty members or the academician, both academicians and the administrators doesn't have any training. There is no training offered for faculties of higher education related to disability. We are the one, I can proudly say it, we are one of the organizations that is providing faculty training for inclusive higher education. We make them to feel the empathetic feeling of having a disability. We do that, and with the help of that, we were able to enhance the employment of the colleges that is under us. More or less 156 colleges are under our university. We are able to enhance because policies are not going to do anything. Just policies are not going to do anything if we are not going to concentrate on the attitude and awareness. So that is lacking. Once the faculty doesn't understand what disability is, how I have to take care of each and every student with a specific disability. All the teachers are ready to teach students with disability, but they are not being trained. Just lack of training and strict norms of at least 5% reservation as per RPWD Act has to be given. It has to be given as a strict norm, not nam ke vas. Because till now it is nam ke vas. But it has to be made sure that if the child is not given enrollment just because of his disability, strict action has to be taken. And the attitude of the teachers has to be rewinded. Yes, my children, sorry for that, my children, because I always call children with disability, students with disability, my children, because if we are not able to, if our attitude is not tuned in such a way that, yes, all my children are my children. If that attitude change comes, automatically the teachers will accommodate students with disabilities in the right way. It is not just giving a seat. It is more than that. Understanding their needs, specific learning needs, understanding their emotional needs. So teachers needs to be trained, sensitized, so that really they are ready to accept, accommodate, or what you call, treat the children with dignity. Only that change of attitude of the administrators and the academicians can bring in change in accommodating students with disabilities in higher education. So I think UGC or whatever the higher education bodies, they have to give more concentration on empowering these teachers also. Not only teachers, both administrators also on the specific needs of people with disabilities. I think that's the only thing that we can do to accommodate students with disabilities in the right way, what they deserve. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
further
you.
to add to Dr. Prabhavati, she rightly mentioned there
Yes.
are very few universities which practice, and we're proud to say in Christ University, we always have this policy of inclusion and diversity. As Madam said, if it is taken up with passion with universities, definitely it's not a big deal going forward. Thank you.
Yes, along with that, I would also like to say, apart from faculty training, employer sensitization, how they communicate with individuals, and support system like mentorship and as well as assistive tool, this should be institutionalized. When policies, institution, and employers work in alignment, only then inclusion becomes practical, leading to better job readiness and placements as well as long-term retention.
That's truly a great answer. And I can also read out what
I
Gita
also
believes.
feel institution needs to embed a flexible curriculum design, task-based learning, and alternative assessments rather than just relying on exam mode. Maybe a continuous feedback system.
Yeah, true,
Ma'am, the
true, true.
evaluation, the assessment, each and everything should be remodified.
Remodify.
It is not the stay, it is not that stick to norms.
Yes.
It is not only for persons with disabilities, even for the so-called normal. Each and
Yes.
every child has their own learning needs. Everyone is different. No
Yes.
two the so-called normal is same. Because what we normally say is it is one why we should reschedule or rethink about the exam evaluation only for one child or two child. I always used to say it is not that. Each and every one's child learning need is different. If we can categorize that as an inclusion, doesn't mean only persons with disabilities. It means everyone. The slow learners, the gifted children. If the evaluation process is designed in such a way that it meets the learning needs of each and every child in the classroom, that is inclusion. I strongly believe in that inclusion means every child's learning needs, psychological needs has to be met. Let us redesign our curriculum or the evaluation system in such a way that each and every child's needs are taken care of.
Yes. Even the universal design for learning also supports this. They look into the different needs of learners and they suggest that we should tailor their requirements based on their needs.
True, true. And we also agree with Prabhavati ma'am. And I think, that needs, I mean, our governments and all the schools, institutions has to make sure that they should be aware, I mean, the teachers should be aware of the things that they have to meet when it comes with person with disabilities. And with all this, I would like to thank you all so much who sent in their questions. The curiosity and the engagement in this room today has been truly wonderful. And a big thank you once again to all our panelists for responding with such openness and depth. You have given all of us a great deal to think about and act on. So, with all this enthusiasm, today we didn't only just discussed about inclusion, we lived in it. Thank you to everyone of our panelists once again for your honesty, your stories, and all your wisdom. What stayed with me most was the stories that have been come from, it would be from Janani, the partial speech and hearing impaired person, or the person who was speech and hearing impaired, who are hyperactive. These stories, that make us feel very proud. You see, as Dr. Prabhati ma'am rightly said, there are children. So we feel with the depth core of it. So, these all things that make us very close. So inclusion is definitely is not a destination. It is a daily direction. So, and today all of us took a few meaningful steps together. I'd now like to invite my colleague Rajesh to deliver our vote of thanks and officially bring today's session to a close. Rajesh, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Pratibha. So, yes, as we come to end of this webinar, I would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to everyone who contributed to making this session meaningful and successful. This was really a wonderful session with a lot of insights and experiences shared by the leaders from different industries. First and foremost, I would like to thank our moderator, Mr. Uday, who has always inspired us through his thoughtful moderation and engaging facilitation of today's sessions. I'd also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our esteemed panelists, Ms. Geetanjali Mashley from ETON and Ms. Kapila Jayakumar from Infosys BPM for enriching the discussion with their valuable insights on diversity, equity, inclusion, and industry best practices. My sincere thanks also goes to Dr. Prabhavati, Director, Center of Differently Able Persons, Bharatdasan University, Professor Sriraman Nandi, and Dr. Kashyap Takuria from Christ University, Placement Coordinator, and uh, Coordinator for Center for Neurodiversity and Research, respectively. Your collective expertise, experiences, and commitment to disability inclusion have made today's discussion truly insightful and impactful. I would also like to especially thank my colleagues who played a key role in making this event successful. My sincere appreciation and thanks to Pratibha for serving as Master of Ceremonies and ensuring smooth flow of the session. I would also like to thank my interpreters Meera Sivam and Pallavi Padam for making this webinar fully accessible through their seamless sign language interpretation and accessibility support. A special note of gratitude to our leadership team and all my colleagues at Youth for Jobs Foundation, whose dedication, coordination, and hard work made this event possible. Finally, my sincere thanks to all the participants, faculty members, employers, students, special educators, and disability advocates who joined us today. I hope the experiences and the knowledge shared by our academic and industry leaders have provided valuable information, insights into D&I, diversity, equity, inclusion, and employability for persons with disabilities. Your presence, engagement, and thoughtful participation made this discussion truly meaningful. Thank you once again, and we are looking forward to continuing our collective journey towards more inclusive and equitable society. Thank you and have a pleasant evening. Thanks to all. Now, maybe we all will have a group picture before we wind up the session. I request everyone to turn on their videos.
Thank you so much, Rajesh. I think you, the team, Pratibha, Uday, Meera, and Pallavi, endlessly they've been signing. Huge thank you, because I've been sipping water, but they've not had an opportunity to even like flinch. So thank you so much, and huge appreciation for both of you all.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rajesh.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure.
Thank you. It's a
Thank
great
you.
job.
Yeah,
Your team
thank
has
you for
done a great job, really.
absolutely.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you to
Thank
my
you, ma'am. Thanks to
fellow
all.
panelists. I think always a learning, always something that we can take away and collaborate and repurpose, right? So thank you so much, Geetanjali, Dr. Prabhavati, Shriram, and the speaker. I'm so sorry. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, let's all take a picture.
Everybody, please
Yeah.
turn the cameras on.
Yes.
I think we are taking it and already turned on. I request everyone to turn on your videos.
Yes, Kashyapi, I forgot. I'm so sorry. You were great.
Yeah.
Yes, we are done.
Thank you.
Nisha, is it
Thank you,
done
everyone,
from your
once
side?
again. Yeah.
Thank God it's Friday. So have a great weekend, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kapila. Have a weekend. Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks to all.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Happy weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Happy.